We're talking about the Blazers moving forward. People are all fired up. I love it. Scoot, Shea, too, are all great pieces, but they're not cornerstones. That's the problem with this fan base and ownership. We get too enamored with mid-level players and their potential. People seem to miss the point that basketball, unlike most pro sports, you don't get the surprise pop hardly ever. By draft night, a kid's either got it or doesn't. I would say
For the most part,
the
I think
most
that's
part,
true.
yeah.
I mean, there's
There
like
you-
SGA is a guy who,
Steph Curry.
yep, Giannis, like
Yeah, take some of them.
all
take time.
timers can come out of Jokic. You know, it's those are exceptions, not rules. I would agree with that text in general. Like,
Yeah.
you don't usually like the next tier down is like the Jalen Williams,
Yeah.
the J Dubs of the world, like where you're like Chris Middleton,
Yeah.
like those second tier guys, Jimmy Butler, you know, end of the first.
Yeah.
Like there's an example every year, but it's so much. It's just it's rolling bones.
Yeah. I think as we were talking about in that last segment, just like whether the fan base cares or not, that is a massive issue with the organization, though. I mean, we can disagree on whether, like, how much of the fan base is run this thing on the side of the hill, get yourself a star by any means possible, or, hey, do enough to win. If organizationally they are looking at this by saying, well, I mean, who cares if we don't get a star? I think that's a problem.
I don't think they
if
don't care.
That's it. I think then why does it matter what the fan base says on tanking or not in being about it? Because if you're going to lose games, absolutely you are.
Because there's no guarantee that a tank equals star.
But if you get how do you get the star though?
Here, through the draft or through trade.
Okay. And giving yourself the best opportunity via the draft is to lose basketball games. Now, I'm not saying that you
they're
don't.
Not gonna. Nobody, like, look around the league. There is one team, one team. Again, I will say one team, the Washington Wizards, and even then, they're so sick of losing that they just took on veterans so they don't set an NBA record for futility.
Yeah.
It is not easy to do.
But we know what they're trying to do.
And there is no guarantee, and they have really nothing that they're just like, yeah, this is it, that they're excited about going
right
forward.
now. The Portland Trailblazers, though, are positioned, and this is, I think, what a lot of fans agree on, is they're positioned to never get a star. Like, in that organizationally, that's a failure.
How are they positioned to never get a star?
Because they're in a position right now. We just talked about this. Probably best odds are going to be the sixth worst record in the NBA, which gives them around an 8% chance to win the lottery, right?
And if
like in that right there, I think that's it.
If you're tying yourself to lottery odds, what is the point?
To get a star eventually, right? Like, but isn't that what San Antonio did?
You can't run a business like that.
Isn't that what San Antonio?
You can't run.
It's professional sports. It's different because when you win, they will come back. We know that. We absolutely 100% tried and true. You win, place is going to be packed. You know it.
Okay.
How do you get to that point? And that's the question that a lot of Blazer fans have. Like, is all right. Well, then how are we going to get there? And look, I'm not saying that this back half of the Blazer season, the bottom could fall out, and they're going to win. They're going to lose plenty of games, but I'm just saying what that frustration is that how do you get the start through the draft here?
And if there was a guarantee that if sucking that bad did it, I'd say yes, go for it. Absolutely, unequivocally, just go be rancid. It's not there.
But this team is not tanking right now.
No,
like
not
they're
right
not.
now.
So they're
not going to pull the plug on the young guys developing, because that's the thing. Is like, again, that's the thing they set out to do this year. We're not going to count wins. We're looking at development.
Yes, they absolutely did say that. But if you develop this team to a point and you don't make any moves at, say, a trade deadline or a big move this offseason, and they do not get that star in the lottery this year, then what you're signaling is this team is going to be good enough to never be in that position to get that star player via the draft.
Or you better hope you draft Luka Doncic and not Trae Young.
Well, in like that right there is like you're going, holy moly. Blazers have gotten some pretty damn good players at number 7. Number 6, right? They've gotten really good players.
Damon Brandon.
those guys did not get them over the hump, though, right? Like, and that's that's the.
I think a lot of that has to do with what happened after that.
That's the spot that you're in. Yeah, well, yeah,
And again, luck.
And then that goes back to the organizationally, what happened after that. Organizationally, at the top, they did not do enough to support the stars that they had. And that right there is why the fan base is like, it's never going to happen. So they're upset about it. Like, I get it.
I don't get that part of it.
Well, Neil O'Shea was a decade.
Okay, that's fine. Is Neil O'Shea in charge?
No, he's not.
Stop.
But
Stop.
ownership
Stop right
at
there.
the top, they allowed.
Paul Allen didn't get it done either.
I know they allowed it to, and that's where the ownership people come into play. Like, and they just want a change, and they want something new.
And it's like, just say
And
that
I
you
get
just
it.
want the change.
Well,
that's
that is
fine.
what they're saying. Literally, that's what they're saying.
They want the change because things aren't getting done the way they want them to get done.
Yeah, and like, I think that we've talked about this several times. Like, it's a fool's game to sit there and be like, you know what, that a new owner is gonna just turn it around and it's gonna be awesome. Like, we know that that's not the case, because you could get a really bad owner too that comes in who doesn't give a rip about this team. And it's a double-edged sword. I just think that, look, fan bases, they're fanatics, they're irrational, and they're gonna be just like what we're seeing here. They're gonna be split. There's gonna be two wildly different directions, and they're gonna be very vocal about it.
Yeah,
it's why we love sports.
No, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. I don't understand getting upset about the lottery stuff until the lottery.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, man, those Pistons fans, they got the fear of God in their eyes. After 4 straight lotteries of getting punched in the face, they were just like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
And it's just
you never know.
It's a nasty beast, man.
It is.
It's a nasty
Sucks, dude.
It is a nasty, nasty beast. And you saw what it did to that organization. And look, as good as Detroit is playing now, and they're better and they make more sense and they have their star in Cade, tell you what, turn on a Pistons game. They aren't returning. That place is empty.
Okay, but they also they have more options. They've got the Wings, they've got the Lions, they've got the Tigers.
I'm just saying, it's not
town,
automatic.
In this town, it 100% is. You win, they're coming.
I don't think that's the case in today's society.
I do. With this town, absolutely.
There's just
where else are they gonna go?
Because there's a lot of options.
What?
Not I'm talking about just going to the building. I'm just talking about paying attention. Like that is the constant fight today. Because
I think they're gonna come
because
back.
the audience is different.
All right. Holy smokes. Are we on time? Did I break on time last one, Rust? Okay, good. I thought this was like the top of the hour segment, and we were gonna have to take.
You scared me
like
there
2
for
breaks.
a second. I'm looking over here. I'm like, well, no.
I just want to make
good.
sure we're on
The
time.
way that you looked at the clock there was like, oh God.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Oh,
Okay. Look, we have not. You know what we have done? We have gone an hour and a half on trade deadline day, and we've gotten so wrapped up in the Portland Trailblazers, we haven't talked about a single trade that has happened.
Perfect.
Yeah. I mean,
Do you want to hit those coming out of worst
no.
day?
Oh man. All right. Well, I'd just like to be the Oklahoma City Thunder right now.
Yes, I would like to be the man running a team that had multiple star players in their prime to trade away to reset with.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier and a lot better to do that.
They also did tank, though.
Well, people highlight. Okay,
They did, though.
How many players are left from that team?
That tanked? But who cares? They're the best team in the Western
this
Conference,
is-
40-9.
And they never did what the Wizards did.
Okay.
There's a difference.
They did tank, and we're not saying to be the Wizards.
That's what people are calling for.
No.
Yes, they will.
No. I've not seen a single person on the text line today, on the YouTube chat today,
I
that
can
has
literally
said,
scroll down and grab it for you.
Be the Wizards.
Go 0-82.
But go 0-80. No, you don't want to do that. But think of teams that have tanked and where they're at now. OKC. Yep.
But the thing that
Houston.
the thing that matters the most with OKC is they got Shea.
Right.
That's what
And what
mattered.
did they do to get him?
They traded their superstar.
Okay. Houston.
Mhm.
They tanked. They're sitting
Yeah.
third in the West right now. They're looking
They
pretty dang
traded
good.
their superstar,
And they also reset their front office and ownership.
and they picked what, second or third with Jalen,
Yeah.
and then after that, it's been mid lottery.
Minnesota Timberwolves. They tanked for a long time, both intentionally and unintentionally.
That was, and then they traded everything for. Who do you compare?
The San Antonio Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Detroit Pistons look pretty good.
Yep.
And that was a long time.
And
that
same
they
with the
did that.
Spurs. The Spurs
Cle-
went through for 5 years.
The Cleveland Cavaliers, top team in the West
East.
or East. Yeah. They did.
They did for 2 years ish.
Yeah, Blazers are on 4. Seems to be working out. The Orlando Magic did it, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Philadelphia
Oh,
76ers.
I'm not
yeah,
saying
like the
tanking-
list is like,
I'm not saying tanking's bad.
yeah, it
At
has
all.
worked.
No, it does work. But it also, when you talk about those teams, it's hitting on draft picks.
It's hitting. Yes.
That's the thing. Like,
And
it is the Atlanta Hawks win the lottery.
Yeah.
In a draft that doesn't matter.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though, and this might be like the biggest point to this is why fans should want the tank. Joe Cronin has done a very good job of identifying talent in the draft. He really has. His hand was tied with the Scoot Henderson one, right? But everybody's like, should have taken Eamon Thompson. Well, Scoot is playing well now,
And he's also
but his hand was tied there. Look at where, like, he's done a good job of evaluating the guys.
look,
And
I
putting the
really like
pieces
Amen
around him.
Thompson. I just think he and again, I think most people, almost everyone, looked at Amen Thompson and valued him as like his ceiling being the best possible role player on a team.
Yeah.
Where they figured that Scoot Henderson could be the guy who ignites your offense. I already replied to this text, but I have to read it out publicly just because there's this whole idea of this stuff that exists. Thing about OKC is they have competent ownership and management. You have the cheapest and one of the worst owners in professional sports in Oklahoma City. Sam Presti has to operate under the luxury tax line every single year.
he does.
Absolutely, without fail.
But-
It is a terrible. This is an owner that ripped a team away from another after saying he wasn't going to.
Yeah.
You're out of your freaking mind.
But they have an elite general manager.
He does. Sam
He
Presti.
is elite.
And well, that same guy also has given up multiple first-round picks to draft Ousmane Dieng.
Yeah.
Is given away James Harden to keep Serge Ibaka.
Yeah.
Like, he is not without fail.
Well,
He's very good. I am not taking that away at all.
Yeah.
But the idea that Oklahoma City's ownership is good, you're falling out of the bird nest.
But something that the Vancouver Forward text line does point out that you said OKC traded their superstar. So did Portland.
Okay.
But they did.
Okay, you're definitely right. Those are two very much the same situations. Paul George in his prime and Damian Lillard under a trade request. If Miami had assets that made sense, Portland does. If they get Bam Adebayo back, congratulations. You did the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that wasn't what was on the table. The one team that Paul George wanted to go to that was going to land them Kawhi Leonard,
I understand.
There's
I
a-
understand.
there's a
But
staggering difference.
I understand. But I mean,
There's
Joe
no but.
Cronin and the Blazers did right by Dame and sent him to a contender.
They
And
they also took the better deal.
They did right. They did right. But was it potentially the best deal they could have taken?
Yes. For the things that I have heard, it was 100% the best deal on the table.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Look, if I would love it if at the time that Dame's trade request came in, that the one destination he wanted to go to was going to land the Blazers a guaranteed superstar and 6 first-round draft picks.
here it is. To your point earlier, Dirt wants the Blazers to be the Wizards.
Yeah.
That's
No, and I know I know he
you do
stokes
not
the
want
flames
to be
every day.
You do not want to be the
There's
Wizards.
plenty, and there's people texting in earlier. The difference between you guys and the morning show is so drastic. It's like, yeah, it's because Dirt wants to burn it all to the ground, including ownership.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it's not going to be this thing that's again.
I understand. I do understand why people feel that way though. Like I understand.
I don't, because I look at the other owners around the league and I go, oh, it could be so much worse. It could be so much worse.
And
the likelihood is that whoever buys this team, because the amount of money it's going to take to buy teams now,
yeah,
it's not going to go well.
Well,
maybe
Tom Brady will do it. He's fixing your team.
He doesn't have that kind of money. He'd have to get back to Giselle to get that.
Well, maybe they do. Maybe love finds a way.
Well, I mean, she just
maybe Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney buy it and they pull a Wrexham on us.
There you go. I'm okay with that.
I mean,
if they sell their stake in Wrexham, they might actually have the money for it. As much money as they've made.
See, there we go.
There we go. Full circle. I like it.